All right. Hello there, everybody. I'm IllegallySam, and this is Evoland. I am joined by some folks on my couch here.
Hello, everybody. It is bright and early, and I am awake, allegedly. My name is KingJO444. I watched Sam do this at PAX East, and I retained like 2% of information. So I'm here to ask questions. Let's go.
I'm CMM1215. I am also here. we thumb warred before to determine who would introduce themselves first. So
we did do a thumb war and we gave up.
We did, but I just gave it to him.
So yeah, I know what's happening in this game. They don't really. So
we kind of do.
I've seen it 3 times. That's right. That's good enough, right?
Yeah, close enough. But yeah, this is Evoland, specifically Legendary Edition. Legendary Edition is a collection of Evoland 1 and 2. So obviously, specifically, we'll be doing Evoland 1 here today. I'm not going to go into detail about the game because I think it's going to speak for itself pretty early on into the run. So let's just go ahead and get started. So let's get a countdown and start in 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
We also don't want to do Evoland 2 because we don't want to be here for 3 to 4 hours.
Yes, Evoland 2 is much longer.
Yeah.
But this is Evoland 1. As you can see, we're starting off like pretty simple. You know, got some black and white color, some pretty like 8-bit graphics, top-down Zelda style. But all of these chests that we're opening are like giving us upgrades, and the upgrades are upgrades to the game itself. So like before I opened one of those early chests, we didn't even have sound effects, but now we've got music.
Hey, we got music. I also like at the bottom you can see stuff and you get 16 colors display.
Finally. It's been so many years.
That's a lot of colors.
Right. So yeah,
it's more than 10.
For this entire first room, I don't have any health. So if I get hit a single time, I do die. So I'm going to be playing things kind of safe. Normally, like during PB attempts, I just YOLO everything here because it's the first room of the run. But I do not want to have to restart everything because I was not careful. Because these bats are very, very annoying. Also,
this game really likes to take inspiration, and by inspiration I mean it likes to parody a lot of the games. So you got these Octoroks and Keys from Zelda. Our character's name, well, it will be something else, but canonically it's Clink. So
yeah, which is a horrible name.
Yeah, they are not Octoroks; they are Octoraks.
Yeah, I was gonna say the enemies are all like enemies, like we got the enemies at Wish.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, but now that we made it out of the first room, we managed to survive without getting hit too much, and now it's time for the turn-based battles. Because if you thought parodying Zelda wasn't enough, this is also a Final Fantasy game. But yeah, so here at the beginning with these random encounters in the overworld, we do actually want to fight some of them. Specifically, we need to kill 4 enemies in order to get money. Because every single enemy we kill, they don't drop Gil, they drop Gliese. We need 200 specifically, each enemy drops 50. And so ideally, we get just all 4 enemies that we need to kill within 2 encounters. That is not happening, that is unfortunate. But that's not like a massive time loss or anything. It's just like bad RNG here puts you like 30 seconds behind, and that doesn't matter in a marathon.
Yeah, I was gonna say, as it happens, marathon luck, so.
Yeah.
This is unfortunate, because these Emuks are also the worst enemies to encounter because they take 3 hits, the slimes only take 2 hits, and on top of that, if you get a maximum damage roll against the slime, you're able to one-shot them with 12 damage.
You were saying before this run you had gotten great RNG, so this tracks.
Yeah.
Yes.
So like CMM and I said, like, we retained like a decent amount of information from the run, but like it's flopping between like art styles and stuff like that, and also like gameplay styles. So a lot of it like blends together for me.
Yeah, so now we're back in the Zelda style. We got
exactly.
These 4 knights here, they're kind of annoying because they could just like turn towards you and block your sword strikes. Thankfully, they weren't too mean to me.
When they die, they sound like Birdo for some reason. I'm not really sure why.
All right, but now we're in the village. This is Papunika village. Everybody in this town is not a fan of children, so we got to eat this random seed we found in a well. Now we're an adult.
And now
you've been stretched.
Yeah, we get stretched out like an elastic band.
Well, we were talking about Willy Wonka the other day, that the child that gets
got grow taller, by the way. I love that.
Yeah, so now that we're here in the village, the reason we got money is because we need to talk to the shopkeeper and buy equipment. We cannot progress past this village if we don't buy equipment, and we need 250 money in order to buy all the equipment. Thankfully, we only need to get 200 from the enemies because there's 50 in a barrel right here.
That's what happened when I learned how to open a door. I got a
In real
pop up
life?
on my screen that said you got enter houses.
I think it's when you happen to learn to open doors in real life.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Evolved beyond a
No, that's
dog.
what I mean. Yeah. when I grew up in my age, I got grow taller.
I didn't, because I'm very, very short. I got grow smaller.
All right, and here we have a forced encounter to help this random girl that seems to be having a bad time.
She's face planted in the dirt.
And I will need...
She's sleeping. Shh.
I will need the winners of the bid wars for names right after this fight. So first I will need Karis.
Okay, I can give that to you. Karis' name is going to be K. Barrett. Capital
right.
K Barret.
That's an
I
awesome
love
name.
that.
All
That's
right.
awesome.
We have K. Barrett. She is no longer Karis.
Cabaret.
And I will need Clink right now as well.
Well, Clink obviously is Luigi.
All right.
Nice.
That tracks.
Don't you just love when you have to wait to get your name? Like
He's remembering his name right
in
now.
real life.
All right.
You
so-
got a name. So
You got cave monsters. Uh-oh.
Oh, that is not a great enemy formation, so I'm going to run. So yeah, for the fights in this area, whether or not I get a good enemy formation or not will determine whether I fight the enemies or run, specifically after this next chest, because this whole time we didn't have XP. Now we do. So yeah, basically before the end of this dungeon, I want to try, if possible, to kill enemies to level up a single time, because that'll make that upcoming boss fight potentially faster.
when we said that this game parodied everything, I was not prepared for Luigi. So
That is
it's a sick
everything.
Nintendo reference.
I guess the audience helped parody the game too.
True.
I'm going to take a safety hill because I took a lot of damage running from that encounter earlier. But also, this is where the fun really begins for the run, because this is when I start doing some shenanigans.
Yep. Something happened somewhere.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that something is I have the pause menu up, because if you open the pause menu and then a cutscene or an animation plays, that normally takes away control. It'll give back control after the animation plays, but because the menu is still open, we can just walk around with the pause menu open, and we'll be making use of that pretty much the entire run.
You're
It
going to be
is very
looking
useful.
at the profile pictures of the characters a decent amount. Yeah.
Yeah, they're cute. I like the art.
All right, but this is the boss fight of the Crystal Caves. This is Kefka's Ghost.
Wait, Crystal Cave, so it's a DK64 parody too?
Was Kefka's Ghost in DK64 though, Clay?
Yeah, he was the final boss.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, right after K. Rool.
Yeah, no.
Oh.
There's no K rule in that game.
The K stands for Kefka.
Yeah,
Got it, yeah.
there you go. King Kefka's Ghost.
So if I get good damage rolls here, I can get what's called a one cycle, because if I defeat this boss before it turns blue a second time, if it is blue, I cannot damage him, because if I attack, he will counterattack immediately. And so with good enough damage rolls, I can take him out before that second blue phase, but I don't know if these damage rolls were good enough. They were not.
I honestly thought you were going to explain what a one cycle means.
Well, you see, it's where you get one
singular
cycle.
cycle.
All right. Oh yeah, I got real bad damage rolls. I need 2 extra hits there. That's okay. But now that we've defeated Kefka's Ghost, we're in 3D now.
Which you can definitely see, right?
Yes, you can tell because it's behind the pause menu.
yeah.
You can see it if you look really carefully.
You can
I
see
did
it, yeah.
see it.
But the reason why we stored this pause menu specifically is to open this chest.
There we go. Now you can see it.
Because now I can walk around during the chest open animation. It saves multiple seconds.
I love that. Just like holding the item up as you're like sliding and moonwalking forward.
And also, this room that we're in right now is the first room of the run. It'll look familiar and not too long. So just, now it's in 3D, yeah, full movement and everything, it's gonna, we're just gonna go through things a little differently, because we could step over this 2-inch high stone slab because it's 3D now.
We forgot to mention, by the way, we are holding the characters from Level Head, which is the other run that Sam has done at GDQ.
Yes.
1 year ago.
Yes.
So yeah,
Oh, really? Was it a year ago?
it was a year ago.
It was last SGDQ.
I know. Time flies.
All right,
That's
but
wild.
I'm just gonna be walking to the end of this area, just to dodge a few enemies. So we have time for a donation or two.
Well, we happen to have a donation or two. We've got Zatura24 sending in $50. Awesome to see Evoland on GDQ. Good luck with the run.
Thank you.
And $15 from Habkaina Name. Shout out from the Evoland community. Kind of sad I'm not the one to bring this beauty of a game to the GDQ stage, but I'm sure Sam will give a great showing of it as well.
All right, now we have a 3-dimensional overworld. And we're into like the first major dungeon of the run. This is the Noria Mines. And this is just a full-on Zelda dungeon. Like, it's got small keys, it's got enemies everywhere, it's got traps, it's got everything you could ask for in a Zelda dungeon outside of like new equipment, because we will be getting new equipment later. But just because we're in a dungeon doesn't mean we have to do everything as intended. In fact, we will be doing pretty much everything not as intended thanks to our handy-dandy pause menu. Because we were just moving around off screen for a little while there, like during the animations, and I'm storing this pause menu specifically because this upcoming room has a funny little trick. Because if I enter this room and open the chest, it activates a trap. If I try to leave the room, it activates a trap. But if I do both of them, it activates the trap twice. And that means it'll just spawn the bats twice, and then if I kill all 6 bats, it spawns 2 chests. Okay. Ideally, I would have hit that enemy when I had the game on pause, but it wasn't too nice to me. But yeah, now I have 2 chests. That means I duplicated the key that this chest gives me, and I could just skip one of the keys later on. Also, because I opened the 2 chests at the same time, that one key is just going to stay floating there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're just gonna leave it.
Yep. Don't worry, it's in our inventory, contrary to what it looks like. But yeah,
Got a skeleton. All he needs is a hug, though.
yeah, this dungeon also introduces multiple new enemy types, like the wizard and the skeleton. The skeleton is absolutely horrific to try and fight with the sword, so we will not be fighting a single one of them. Even though there are several that are supposed to be required, you'll see how we get around it. If you think it's with the pause menu, you would be correct.
I just realized that we got a skeleton, and it would be kind of wild if we started the game without
With no skeleton.
I mean, we were in 2D, now we're in 3D, so...
That is true. We have bones
The time
now.
to get it was a little earlier.
Yeah. Skipping another chest animation, which means you just slide around.
Yeah, one of my favorite things during this game is just to look at, like, you got a blank and see whichever one's
Yep.
in broken English and
Yeah,
read it out.
or like what caption you get.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's also, all of the in-game achievements are done the same way, so while I do get a lot of stuff from these chests, there's a lot of actions that also trigger stuff like that.
Yeah.
All right. So in order to open the door, I actually do need to stop moving for a moment, so that's why I do a little stutter step while walking towards it.
I just do that because my legs hurt.
All right, so yeah, this room up here, skipping things in this room is the most important room, because if I were to do this room as intended, I'd have to fight 3 skeletons with the sword, which would take actually forever, so we're just gonna leave.
Yo, you got high-def user interface. Let's go.
All right, and then Karis is gonna give us a nice little free heal, get back up to full health.
Why can't you just do that all the time?
Hey, you got whole.
Oh, thank God. Just what I was missing.
I love just the whistle.
Yeah, that armored Octorak is actually a huge pain because his movement is completely random, and if he decides to just keep moving up, you just have to keep shoving him down and hope he falls down eventually, and you've got no control over it. But if you thought the pause menu wasn't broken enough, you're also invincible while the game is paused from both enemies and hazards, and so we use it just not have to actually wait and get pushed by those little twisters there at all. We just continue moving.
What
It's a little puzzle where you get to light up all these panels here.
What are the names of those not whiz robes? Okay.
I don't remember.
Not
what
whiz
it is.
robes.
Yeah.
That's the name.
Yeah, that's
That's the canonic name.
that is the canonic name.
You got lava.
All right. I am playing a couple of these animation and cutscene skips a little safe because if you play things as risky as possible, you absolutely can soft lock in this dungeon.
Yeah.
It has happened during a marathon run before, and as a result, I never play anything risky like that because the last thing I want is have to restart the game and redo the entire dungeon.
Also, don't worry. This is fine.
Yes, this is fine.
They're just really cold.
Yes. Also, Joe, your alarm's going off.
Dude, I'm up.
No, you're
Sam,
not.
I'm awake. You can stop it. I hope you enjoy this. Enjoy the nice beeping sound we're giving.
Yes. That is the low health sound.
Yep.
And even the game acknowledges, yes, it's annoying.
It is loud.
I would just listen to that all day, personally.
All right, so here we get the boss key. This is gonna let us actually go fight the boss of the dungeon because, you know, we need to actually beat the dungeon. It's got a weird symbol on it, never seen it before. But yeah, now that we have the boss key, we're gonna just do that.
Nice.
Yeah?
Yeah. So yeah, I died. That's very unfortunate, but let's load back in.
Hey,
Oh.
there we go.
Yeah, we're back at the beginning of the dungeon, and the only auto save point in the entire dungeon is opening the boss key chest. So now we can just not have to fight our way out of that room.
Nice.
But now it's time for Dark Clink.
You mean Dark Luigi?
Dark-
Oh, sorry, yeah, Dark Luigi.
Dark Luigi.
Which, I mean, it could be regular Luigi, depending on how you think about it.
Yeah, this is Mr. L.
The second player to the second player.
Yeah.
But yeah, this fight sucks because it's just complete RNG. Because he has 3 attacks, he can either shoot fire, spawn bats, or charge at you. The only way you can damage him is to have him charge at you and hit a wall. And so, as a result, we just kind of have to sit here, hope he charges at us, and do that 6 times. And if you're really unlucky, he'll get like stuck in a corner, and when he charges at you, he just won't collide with the wall, and that just makes it take even longer.
This music kind of goes very
Like
hard.
that.
Yeah, it does, yeah.
Yeah.
Like that. He's stuck in the corner. Get out of there.
Yep.
Jesus. Okay.
There we go. He listened.
That was very frustrating. Okay. Because he did literally 3 of them in a row. I would be almost done the fight if he wasn't stuck in the corner like that.
Yeah.
Oh.
He is not being very cooperative.
No.
All right. That's okay. That is why I have a 38-minute estimate, in case everything goes wrong.
The hardest part of this game is the boss fights for the run, for sure.
Yeah, because if you can believe it in a game inspired by stuff like Zelda and, Final Fantasy, RNG is a huge part of this run at a high level.
Nice.
But there we go. We got through Dark Clank, and coming up right when I leave this dungeon is the most important trick of the run, so I will focus for a brief moment when I leave. But, yeah. So, yeah. But I will keep the pause menu open.
This is the 2% that I remember was
All
this
right.
part.
So I need to look for a visual cue, and I'll explain after. That's good. So yeah, you see that chest right there? I just walked through it. You're not supposed to be able to do that, and that chest has the overworld encounters for the 3D overworld. So now for the rest of the run, I will not have to deal with any overworld random encounters.
Nice. And yeah, that saves a lot. So.
Yes. So yeah, now the only turn-based fight left in the run is one of the final boss fights. I will not have to do turn-based combat anymore besides that. All right, but now we keep this pause menu open specifically for this cutscene here, because we talked to Cabaret's uncle, Sid, spelled with an S. We do have to wait for Karis to leave this room before we leave the room, even though we have full control during the cutscene, because the game does not like it if you try to leave too early. But yeah, while we finish out this cutscene, we could sneak in one quick donation.
Well, I've got one for you. $20 from Johannian. Good morning, Sam and friends. Got to give some love to the one that gave me the courage to be on stage and also help commentate for me. I'd wish you luck, but I always know you never need it.
No, I do need it for
Yeah,
the run.
yeah,
I very much
You
need luck
really
for the run.
needed, yeah.
We're here.
Johannian, donate again and please wish him luck. He needs it.
Thank you, Johan.
Yeah, thank you, Johan.
Thanks.
All right, so coming up next is the next part of, what the game wants you to do, which is to talk to a whole bunch of people and try to figure out who has the bombs. The way you're supposed to do this is there's like 5 different people. They're like, oh yeah, I don't have bombs. You should try this person. They probably have them. But we're doing things a little differently because we talked to the NPC that's supposed to be like the obligatory RPG card game person, but we don't have enough cards to actually play the card game. And as a result, he gives us a hanging text box where like you talk to him, you exit that dialogue, and it gives you full control back while you still have a text box open. And we can use that to chain the hanging text box between every single person that we're talking to. And as a result, we're able to just, by chaining this together, this is called bomb skip because it lets us get the bombs faster. And when we talk to the last person, the game just well, it's not even the last person, it's actually the second to last person. The game just doesn't know what to do properly. And you'll see why this saves as much time as it does in a moment.
Don't you wish you could just walk away from everyone talking to you in real life?
They're all just shouting at me from the other room.
I mean, you can.
Yeah, all right.
It's just rude.
Yeah, it's just rude.
So yeah, now I'm 3 rooms over getting the bombs. Because the last person I was supposed to talk to is a kid running around the fountain. We're not in that room, and the game is just giving us the bombs anyway for some reason. And then immediately after the game, it's just like, oh, you're supposed to be in this room, so we take 3 loading zones in a row.
I do like the PS1 now loading screen.
Yeah.
Also, fun fact, there is a shopkeeper in this game where you can buy faster loading, and so it gets rid of those load screens.
I love that you have to buy faster loading.
Yes. It is unfortunately very expensive, so it is not worth it for the run.
It would be really funny if you literally had to buy better load times for this run.
I mean, that
happened. That's called the Switch 2.
Yeah, that's called the Switch 2, or the
got a
Xbox
point.
Series X, or PS5 Pro, or
Yeah.
You had a point.
that's called buying a new graphics card or something. All right, but now we're in the Sacred Grove. This is the next Zelda dungeon. This dungeon has a gimmick with these time crystals where if you hit them, you switch between 2D and 3D. And that is required for a lot of the puzzles coming up throughout this dungeon. Because when you're in 2D, you can't cross over those little stone slabs. And while you're in 3D, there's trees that are grown because it's the past and the future. So in the past, the trees aren't grown yet, and so you can just walk over them. But first, we have to take a quick detour to get our last piece of equipment. Because we have the sword, we have the bombs. What other equipment would you need to be, have a complete Zelda game?
An ocarina.
Unfortunately, no.
A decking stick.
No. I mean, if you've ever seen a Zelda run, they don't even use a shield.
That's true.
Yeah.
Now, this is the bow.
Yeah.
And now that we have the bow, we just do that and we're leaving.
I just again, I love the whistle.
I love the stock sound.
The stock sound into the lava.
All right, but now that we have the bow, we can absolutely not use these crystals as intended anymore because we can pause before the crystal actually is hit by the arrow and just walk around a whole bunch. All right. Oh, hey, I almost never get that achievement by accidentally killing a bat with a bomb, and I've gotten it in my practice run and now. I don't know the last time I've gotten it during a run, so the fact that I've gotten it twice in a row is really funny.
Is there an all achievements category?
There's a 100% category which requires all achievements.
Okay.
Because all of the achievements are required for the in-game percentage.
How long is that?
It's like an hour and a half or something.
Okay, it's not as bad as I thought.
Yeah,
okay.
but the problem is if you are aware of how much RNG is in this run, remember, there's an obligatory card game.
Yeah.
Also, you have to get through the Dark Luigi fight with full health.
Oh.
And with how RNG that fight is, that one is not fun.
Yeah.
All right, but now we have a little puzzle in the corner here because we gotta, destroy all these bushes, light some trees on fire, light some torches on fire as well, and then go back to the future afterwards. So I gotta do things in a specific order because if I'm not careful, I can accidentally crash the game.
You got to change the future. I didn't know we were playing Xenoblade. I appreciate the laughs from the audience for that one.
But yeah, we're supposed to light 2 torches here to make the statue disappear, and we're going to skip a puzzle by just doing that. Because the statue does not extend all the way around like it probably should. So yeah, now we're into this part of the dungeon. Got to push these 2 sconces into place. And once I do, we're going to do something a little funny. All right. Because we're going to enter the room, get a cutscene, we're just going to walk off. And then open a chest off screen.
Bye. Bye, Luigi.
Bye, Luigi. Oh.
But now that we have the bow and arrow one-shot skeletons, so they're no problem anymore, thankfully. And also, another reason why the pause menu is broken, it stops the wizards from teleporting while the game is paused, so we can just put down a bomb next to them, pause the game, and they can't escape.
A little overpowered.
Literally, the pause menu is the most broken thing in the entire game.
Yeah.
Even if you were just playing casually and not using all of these unintended strats and
I feel like a lot of this you could do accidentally.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I do want to try and leave this area with full health if possible, and thankfully I do have full health because the amount of health I have does matter for the next section. But before we get to that, I think we can sneak in a donation or 2 while I head back to the village.
Well, thank you so much, Sam. Before I read one, I just want to update us on our upgrading to 9 innings for Backyard Baseball 97. We are now 87% of the way there. We could hit that right across home plate during this run of Evoland. Make sure you're putting your donations towards that upcoming incentive. Sam, we have a $5 donation from Philly. So proud to see the funniest guy I know on stage legally. Congrats, Sam, and keep crushing this run.
Thank you, Philly.
It's funny we have the top 3 funniest people on this stage.
It's funny because Sam is the opposite of funny. That's why he's funny.
Got him.
All right, so while heading to this next dungeon, we're going to get our hanging text box from our friend, the card guy. Because he's the guy who gives us hanging text boxes, I call him Chad. Because,
Yeah.
yeah, it's because of the hanging Chad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I see the visions.
I see the vision.
Yeah, but we're going to take the dialogue box from the nurse into this dungeon because the nurse gives us a full heal. So by taking her dialogue box into this dungeon, we're able to store a full heal for when we need it because this is the Diablo section.
Yep. You heard that right.
I always forget this is a thing.
So I know someone who has arachnophobia. They're probably closing their eyes for this part.
All right. So the reason why I wanted to have full health here is because when you enter this dungeon, you have the 3 hearts from the Zelda dungeons, which means you only have 12 hits. And until you get the Diablo health bar, that's all you're working with. And when you get the Diablo health bar, it's full proportional to the amount of hearts you have. And so by saving the full heal until after I get the Diablo health bar, I'm able to fill that all the way up to the top And because it's a Diablo health bar, you have significantly more health than you do with the Zelda health bar, which makes this dungeon very easy. You can run past everything. That's pretty much all there is to this dungeon. We can read some donations.
Heck yeah, we've got quite a few. We've got a $25 donation from Epic Crossover. Let's go, Sam. Show the world of Evoland who's boss unless RNG gets in the way. You're the GOAT along with GOAT commentators. Wish you the best, less than 3. Music Man gives $10 to Doctors Without Borders, and they just say, go Sam, go MSF. And Hibby donates $10. I need to find a chest of Grow Taller in real life.
So true.
Oh no.
If you find that chest, could you give it to CMM?
I was like, not you, not just me.
I don't need it. You can take it.
I'll share some with Hex too. Short Kings.
All right, I'll pop back in here real quick to talk about this boss fight. So this boss,
Please do.
he does not have good pathfinding or anything, and so you could just kind of stand on the other side of this tombstone, and he doesn't know how to move around it. And the reason we picked Karis for this section specifically is her 3-hit combo is bugged, and so the third hit of the 3-hit combo hits twice. I don't know why. It just works that way, and so that means she does significantly more damage. Oh, sorry, I said Karis. It's Cabaret.
Cabaret.
Yeah,
Cabaret.
but she does significantly more damage than Luigi would here because her third hit does extra damage.
You said Cabarrus. You said Karis earlier too, and I'm just like, that's not her name. Excuse you.
So, but yeah, because we could just bait the boss around that tombstone, we could just absolutely demolish him and then leave.
Something happens somewhere, and you can be sure it's the last time. I don't know if I believe it. But
While it says prepare to die on the top of the screen.
Yep, that's the dialogue from the start of the boss fight, which we are still having because we can break out of this chest cutscene.
don't worry about that. Everything's fine. We're good.
Yeah, now that we have both parts of the amulet, we can head back to town and go fight the big bad. So yeah, in a game with characters like, you know, Karis, Clink, Sid, what do you think the final boss is going to be named?
I mean, I know it.
Yeah, I can't.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna
guess.
spoil it.
That's fair, that's fair. But first, we're going to talk to our good friend Chad to get his text box one last time.
You need at least 5 cards to play, and we have 0.
Yes.
So. When you have no cards to play with the friends,
Aw.
it's sad.
But the reason why we got this text box is so we can transfer it to the pause menu before going into this fight. And because of that, we can use the pause menu to skip some animations and cutscenes after the big fight. So there is the final boss. It's a little edgy looking. You know, he's got the hair over one eye.
Spooky.
But yeah, this is Zephyros with a Z.
He still looks like the guy from Soul Reaver.
A little bit, yeah.
Azrael, was that his name? I'm sorry. I'm sorry to every Legacy of Kane fan watching.
You have to apologize to Jaxler.
Yeah, I was about to say, we're sorry, Jaxler.
Sorry, yeah. No, I'm not sorry to Jaxler.
Okay.
All right, but yeah, the way this fight works is he has 200 health. We got to just get that 200 health down as fast as possible. Along the way, he'll just keep attacking us. Anytime I get to 30 health or below on one of my characters, I'm going to want to heal. Because, well, his attacks are obviously damage range. He only did 24 there, for example. There is absolutely zero reason to play things risky because this is the penultimate fight of the entire run. And so I'm going to be careful and make sure I heal everybody correctly. I also need to be careful when healing because it is 100% possible to accidentally heal the boss. I have done it before. You do give him 50 extra health. It makes everything take so much longer as a result.
It's really nice that you can, like,
Yeah, I
heal the
love that.
boss,
I
yeah.
love that.
My favorite part of Final Fantasy is healing the boss that you're fighting.
Yeah, so the main thing here is just, you know, getting that 200 damage as fast as possible. It's RNG because of the damage rolls.
Yeah.
But because of, you know, how risky you want to take it, and if you really want to do it correctly, I should be keeping track of the exact damage numbers so I know when I can stop healing and just start wailing on him. But I'm going by vibes.
I mean, yeah.
All right, but now that we've done 200 damage, he's going to use his legally distinct ultimate attack.
Kame.
Yeah, I don't know where they came up with the idea for this attack, to be honest.
I don't know either. I can't believe this is a very unique and not a ripoff of anything.
All right, but yeah, that ultimate attack, it just instantly takes us out, or at least it's supposed to. It is actually technically possible to survive that attack. You don't want to because we want the scripted fail state here, because we just lost to Zephyros, so he just killed Cabaret.
He's just like,
No,
yeah,
She's
whatever.
dead.
Cabaret.
What is his issue with her in particular?
All right, but thankfully, before she passes away and turns into light for some reason, she entrusts her power with Luigi here. And so, with the power of Cabaret in his heart, Luigi can summon the great dragon Babamoot.
That sounds like a heart attack.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, every name in this game is just like some medication or something. But yeah, the Babamoot here, his whole thing is that he will instantly end any fight, including this fight, and this is the only way you can actually reasonably finish this fight, because he had 761 health left.
Have you ever grinded out that fight just for fun?
No, God, no.
I kind of want to see it. That should be an achievement just to make everyone mad.
While we're like on this pause screen as we walk, I do want to quickly mention off. I love the hype face that Luigi has right now. On
Also,
the top right.
He's so excited she's finally dead.
Yeah, Cabaret lives on in our hearts and the pause menu. Because the pause menu was from before she died.
I know.
All right, but the reason why we stored this pause menu specifically is because we need to go back, tell everybody what happened in the fight.
They're happy she's gone.
Yeah,
Everywhere I go, I can still see her face in the pause menu.
they're like mourning her, like holding a whole eulogy, and we just walk out.
He's not very sentimental.
He's like, bye guys, I
Yeah,
gotta
Luigi's
go.
got places to be. He's got things to do.
Look, he's running in circles. He's like a dog.
It's much more important than going to his best friend's funeral.
He's like a dog waiting to sit down.
All right, but now we got an airship, and that means we can go to the final boss. So let's get in one more quick donation before the final boss, and then I will explain what's going on.
I've got you covered. Mr. Whiskers sends in $25. I love the Evoland series. Evoland 2 is a legit awesome game, and it is awesome to see it at GDQ. Thank you, Mr. Whiskers.
All right, this is Zephyros. He looks a little different now.
Just a bit.
He hit the gym or something. I don't know.
It was arm day for sure.
It was also eyeball day, apparently.
So yeah, in this phase 1 here, we have to hit both of his hands 10 times each for 20 hits total. If I do things correctly, I'll be able to take out both hands in 4 attack cycles. All right, there we go. That's one hand down. And then it's time for the other one.
Also, banger music.
Yes, this is
Yeah.
easily the best song in the game.
Yeah.
All I think of in this fight is the egg golem from Sonic.
Yeah. This fight reminds me personally of Robo SpongeBob from Battle for Bikini Bottom.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Also, I believe there's a Steam summer sale right now, and I think this game is like, it went on sale. I forget how much it is right
Yeah, I think the
now.
Legendary Collection's like $3 or $4 or something.
Yeah, and again, that comes with 1 and 2, so. If this looks any amount of interesting to you and you're enjoying the run, feel free to pick up the game and try it yourself.
Yeah, Evoland 1 is like 4 hours if you were to beat it in one sitting. That's how long it took me. Evoland 2 is like a full-on like 20-hour game.
Yeah, that's definitely a weekend.
Yeah. But now that we are through phase 2, it's time for phase 3. Now it's time for Ganon tennis.
Yeah, my
Yo, let's go tennis. Yeah, can I get a woo for tennis? Thank you.
All right, so the way this phase works is he can either shoot red orbs or he can shoot blue orbs. Blue orbs are the ones we can hit back to him, and we need to do it 4 times to win the fight. After the 4th hit, there will be some text boxes, and that will be when time is. So that's 2. All right. In true boss fashion, this can literally take forever if he doesn't want to cooperate, or he can just give you 4 blue orbs in a row, and you can finish the fight immediately. All right, that's 3. 1 more. I said 1 more. 1 more. There we go. And time is coming up in just a moment. And time.
Hey.
Nice.
All right. That was the RNG was not the most cooperative. That went pretty well overall. I'm pretty happy with how that went.
That's only like a minute off PB or something.
Yeah, my
like
PB
that,
is a 31:01. I really wanted to get a sub 31 before I came to GDQ. But this game is a brutal grind because of the RNG. I think I got like 3 runs in a row that were 10 seconds off my PB, and all of them had mistakes, so they had good RNG, and I blew it. But it's fine. I'll get it.
Good job, Sam. Good job.
Yay!
But speaking of me trying to PB in this game, if you want to see more of me, you can find me over on twitch.tv/IllegallySam. I really want that sub 31, so I will probably keep grinding for that after GDQ. So if you want to see more of this game and me crying about bad RNG, feel free to check me out. And shout out to the Evoland community, we got a donation from some of the members of the community. And shout out to Speedremizer, because I learned this game 2 years ago for a marathon, because Speedremizer is a marathon where you submit a game, and the game you have to run in the marathon is something somebody else submits. So I had to learn this game within 3 months to run it at a marathon 2 years ago, and now I'm running it here on GDQ. So I'd say that went pretty well.
Yeah,
So-
definitely.
That's about, all I've got. Shout out to everybody in the audience who came out to watch Evoland at 8 a.m. in the morning here. And shout out to my couch for
Waking up.
Waking
Yeah,
up.
wake up. Yeah, like Sam said, follow him if you want to see everything about this game. If you want to see nothing about this game, follow us.
And if you want to see nothing at all, follow me because I don't stream.
All right, guys, got any last minute shout outs you want to give?
Just want to say thanks for having us.
Yeah, for
and,
sure.
Yeah, we hey, look.
Hey, 65.7% of the game. Let's go.
That's higher than usual, honestly. I usually get like 64%, but I think that's about it for us. So thanks for letting me show this off here at SGDQ 2025, and stay tuned for more great runs.